In this lesson, we're going to talk a little bit more about consumer math, and the topic that we're going to talk about is tip. Tip is a really positive thing, and basically what it is it's giving someone money to thank them for their service. And the most common situations where you would offer someone a tip would be at a restaurant. Not necessarily a fast food restaurant, but a restaurant where you have a waiter or a waitress waiting at your table. That's a great situation where you would give a tip. You'd also sometimes give a tip to a taxi driver, or sometimes even an Uber driver. If you ever get your hair done at a hair salon, it's really nice to leave the stylist a tip as well. So those are some places where you would leave a tip. Now, sometimes the amount that you leave will range, between a couple dollars to a significant amount. But usually, at least here in America, we usually provide a tip of anywhere between 10 and 20%. That's usually a pretty common amount that you leave for a waiter or waitress. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these problems and calculate the tip on these meal purchases. James's family has dinner out at Red Lobster. The total was $85. If they want to leave a 20% tip, how much tip do they leave for the waiter? Okay, so right now it's just asking how much money and tip are they going to leave for the person that's waiting at their table. They're not necessarily asking what is the total bill that the family will end up paying. So let's go ahead and calculate the tip. It looks very similar to the discount and the tax. We're going to take our original price of the meal, which is $85, and just like before, we are going to multiply it by our tax rate, which our tip, our percent. So we want to leave 20%. So we're going to multiply it by that decimal point 2. So 85 times 0.2, that's going to leave us with $17. And $17 is $17 is 20% of that price of the meal. So if you wanted to leave that 20% tip, you'd have to leave $17 additional dollars on your table for your waiter or waitress. All right, let's look at the next one. Hannah took her friend out to lunch at P.F. Chang's. Their food and beverages cost $35.80. If Hannah wants to leave a 15% tip for the waitress, how much will she pay for the meal and tip? This time, it's asking us how much will she leave, not only for the meal, but the tip as well. So at the end of the day, how much is Hannah going to pay for the meal? So the original cost of the meal is $35.80. Hannah wants to leave a 15% tip. So we're going to multiply that original price by our tip. That's going to leave us with $5.37. Okay, this right here is representing our tip, but we want to know how much is the meal and the tip together. So we're going to take the meal amount and we're going to add it to the tip amount, and we're going to simply add them together. So at the end of the day, Hannah is going to pay the waiter or waitress $41.17. That is after she includes the tip for her meal. Okay, let's look at a couple more problems similar to this. The Jackson family went to the Cheesecake Factory to celebrate Melanie's 18th birthday. The meal cost $108.60. They want to leave a 15% tip. How much is the meal including the tip? So you can see that the Cheesecake Factory is a little bit more expensive than the other restaurants we were looking at here. So we have $108.60. And they want to leave a 15% tip. So we're going to multiply it by 15%. So $108.60 times 0.15 is going to be $16.29. That's the amount of the tip. So we're going to take our original amount of the meal and we're going to add the tip to it. By doing that, we're going to get the total amount that the Jacksons are going to end up paying for Melanie's birthday. So $124 $4.89 is going to be what they pay for the entire meal, including the tip. Okay, the next question is a little bit unique. Sam went to Red Robin for lunch with his two friends, Jim and Blake. The subtotal of their meal was $48.10, and they want to leave a 20% tip and then split the bill evenly. How much will each of them pay for their meal and the tip included? Okay, so the first thing to know is that we have three boys. We have Sam, we have Jim, and we have Blake. So let's go ahead and write a 3 over here. We know that there are 3 of them. All right, the cost of the meal was going to be $48.10, and the boys want to leave a 20% tip. So we're going to multiply that $48.10 by 0.2. That's going to leave us with $9.62. That right there is going to be the tip. Okay, so now what I want to do is take that price of the meal, we're going to add the tip to it. So when we add that, we're going to get $57.72. This is going to be the cost of the 3 boys' meal, including the tip. But didn't they say they wanted to split the bill evenly? If they wanted to split the bill evenly, we had to remember that there were 3 of them. So what we would do is we would take the $57.72 and we would simply divide it by 3. That would give us $19.24. And that would mean that each of the boys would end up paying $19.24 for the meal after the tip has been applied. Now, in this next example, throughout these examples, you may have been thinking, well, isn't there tax and tip whenever you go out to a restaurant? And you're exactly right. So oftentimes, well, actually all the time, you're going to have to pay a tax and you're going to have to pay a tip. So let's take a look at this example and I'll show you how that works. Maria took her daughter out to lunch at Glory Days. Her bill for the meal is listed below. Calculate the tax, tip, and total amount of that Maria will pay for lunch. So you can see that Maria got a cheeseburger. Maria and her daughter got a cheeseburger, a fish sandwich, a lemonade, Dr. Pepper, and an ice cream sundae for lunch. And the first thing that we need to notice here is this word subtotal. Subtotal is not the final amount that you're going to pay. It's just how much money does your food cost. So if we take all of those numbers and we add them up, they're going to sum to $24.44. That is called your subtotal. Okay, now that we have the subtotal, we have to calculate the tax and the tip. So let me show you how to do it. Everything is always based off of your subtotal. So when we calculate the tax, we always calculate the tax based off of the $24.44. So I'm going to take that $24.44 and I'm going to multiply it by my tax rate of 0.055. So 24.44 times 0.055 is going to leave me with a number that looks like this, 1.3442. I need to take that number and round it to the hundredths place. I look at my number to the right. It's not bigger than 5 or above, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. So my tax that I'm going to pay on my meal is going to be $1.34. Now, this is very important. The tax was based off of our subtotal of $24.44. Our tip is also going to be based off of our subtotal of $24.44. So I'm going to take that $24.44 and I'm going to also multiply it again by our 20% tip. When I do that, I'm going to get a number as 4.888. And you can see that I'm going to have to round this up so that my tip is going to be $4.89. So I've calculated my tax, I've calculated my tip, and now to get the total that I'm going to be spending on the meal, I'm going to take my subtotal of $24.44, and I'm going to add the tax of $1.34, and then I'm going to add the tip of $4.89. And that's going to give me a total of $30.67. So basically, I took those numbers and I added them together. And that is going to give me my final total, which is going to be the amount that I'm going to pay the waiter or waitress. Okay, and that is our final portion of the lesson on consumer math.